To welcome next the founder and spiritual director of the Agape International Spiritual Center and the Association of Global New Thought, the Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, please. Reverend Beckwith.
Mr. President, all of the excellencies and all of the members and all of the speakers, it's my joy to greet you in the power of the presence of the Most High God that lives and breathes and moves through us all. That transcended presence that, of course, recreated itself in its own image and likeness and named itself, each and every one of us, with such potentiality to express the peace, the love, the joy, the wisdom, and harmony that emanates from its very being. That each and every individual in this room perfectly reflects the cosmos in a way that has never, ever happened before if we will but let it. If we will but practice the spiritual paths that we're on and go deep enough to allow that which is in the holy scriptures of all of the religions that have been mentioned and have been represented here today, if we could go deep enough in our spiritual practice and open ourselves up to the insights and the revelations that are continually bombarding our awareness, then everything that we have been talking about here today will unfold like a mighty river moving downhill. We are here today to open ourselves up to that possibility during this particular week, which has been designated as a week of harmony among the faiths. The speaker that went before me, I think, was the first speaker that kept under 5 minutes. I will try to be the second. The wise words of Dr. Hans Kung, the professor of ecumenical theology and president of the Foundation of Global Ethics, support this premise that there will be no peace among the nations without peace among the religions, and there will be no peace among the religions without dialogue among the religions. And today is our opportunity to participate with one another in such a dialogue and to spread that among all of us. And of course, peace is on two levels. There is a peace in which there is no conflict, but that's the surface level. And then there is the real peace. Real peace is the dynamic of harmonizing good. It is an emanation of the presence of God within us all, because each and every individual in this room knows that if you walk into a room and people are not arguing, you can tell if there's tension in the room. You can tell if there's bigotry in the room. You can tell if there's prejudice in the room. Peace is not in that room simply because there's no external conflict. Peace is the dynamic of harmonizing good. And that kind of peace emanates from a deep and profound spiritual practice that I just mentioned. It was Dr. Howard Thurman that reminded us that religion at its worst holds on to an exclusivity. Religion at its best allows us to meet at a common center where God and love and compassion prevail in each and every one of us. And so though science has turned this world into a wonderful, perhaps almost neighborhood, it is time for us to turn it into a spiritual brotherhood and a sisterhood by coming to understand the deep meaning of what I just mentioned, that peace is emanating from a dynamic insight and awareness. I want everyone to take a deep breath with me, right? Just take a deep breath and release. At that moment, you have met at the very center of your being. At that particular moment, you've met at the holy breath. At that particular moment, you're meeting at that which transcends religiosity, at that which transcends the external bounds of that which seems to separate us. If we are to really make of this world a sisterhood and a brotherhood, it means that we are to let our religions be a vehicle to the transcendent, and then allow that transcendent awareness of the one power, the one presence, the one love of which the children brought us to, because that music took us out of the intellect and into the awareness of the transcendent. That moment that we breathed together, we went out of the surface tension and into an awareness of the dynamic presence of God, compassion, love, wisdom, harmony, all synonyms for the one presence. In that instant, we can begin to walk together, to sing together, to dance together, to chant together, and then move into a collective action with the will and the willingness to make a mighty difference on this planet at this time in human history, when the dissolution of structures that no longer work are falling apart all around us, and the emergence of good can only be seen by those who have transcended the surface mind. I would say there are many of you like that in this room today. And so regardless of our religious background and persuasion, if it does not take us, if our practice is not taking us to the transcendent, we're not practicing our religion. And if the religion doesn't take us to the transcendent, then it's not a true path. We are here to walk together, to sing together, and as Dr. Thurman reminded us, to meet at the center and to see the presence of God in each and every one of us. God, not anthropomorphic, but a presence, not an absence. Peace and blessings to all of you. Thank you.
We thank you very much, the Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for him one more time.